So we finally have a verdict in the trial of the nurse Lucy Letby. She has been found guilty of murdering 7 babies at the Countess of Chester Hospital neonatal unit between June 2015 and June 2016. I'm going to run through a very brief article just to bring you up to speed in terms of what has taken place in court today. And, as many people know, I actually attended this trial myself. I spent around 30 to 40 hours in court watching Lucy Letby under cross-examination, and you can expect some future videos now that the reporting restrictions have been lifted regarding some of my own thoughts in terms of what took place in court during the days that I was present, so do look out for those in the future. Anyway, let's get on with this article. Nurse Lucy Letby found guilty of murdering 7 babies on neonatal unit. The 33-year-old has been convicted of murdering 7 babies while working at the Countess of Chester Hospital between June 2015 and June 2016. A nurse has been found guilty of murdering 7 babies and attempting to murder others while working on a hospital's neonatal unit between June 2015 and June 2016. Lucy Letby, who was in her mid-20s and working at the Countess of Chester Hospital at the time of the murders, is now the UK's most prolific child killer of modern times. She was found guilty by a series of partial verdicts delivered several days apart, with the judge issuing reporting restrictions until the end of the trial. Letby was also found guilty of 7 counts of attempted murder. Letby cried during some of the verdicts while families of her victims sobbed and comforted each other as the jury read out its findings. One member of the jury also cried and held her head in her hands. She was also found not guilty of 2 charges of attempted murder. The jury was unable to reach verdicts on 6 further counts of attempted murder. Letby's mother Susan broke down sobbing as her daughter was led away from the dock, whispering, quote, "You can't be serious, this can't be right," into her husband's arms. During a later set of verdicts, Letby refused to come up from the cells and was later found guilty of more murders in her absence. All of the children have been granted anonymity, although their names were read out in the courtroom during the 9-month trial. 2 of her victims, known as Child L and M, were twin brothers. They had been born prematurely and were just days old when Letby tried to kill them within hours of each other in April 2016. Speaking publicly for the first time, the boys' parents described the killer nurse as acting, quote, "very cool and calm" after trying to murder Child M with an injection of excessive air. At that time, her body language and her behaviour totally changed, the twins' mother said. "She was very annoyed with us. She thought that I couldn't kill your baby. I had to listen to her lie and lie and lie." The boy's father said he broke down as he watched doctors trying to resuscitate Child M on the ward, quote, "pumping his heart like a rag doll. We were first-time parents. We didn't know what was going on." He said neither parent suspected Lucy Letby at the time. Both Child M and Child L, who Letby tried to poison with insulin, survived the assaults. But Child M has been left with brain damage, which his parents say means he may deviate from his peers as he grows older. The boy's parents, who joined other families in the court, said it was horrendous to witness Letby repeatedly deny hurting their children during weeks of cross-examination. "I had to listen to her lie and lie and lie," their mother said, "and I say now, enough, don't tell lies. Whatever sentence she gets, it's not going to be enough." Described as devious and cold-blooded, Letby completely perverted her learning and weaponised whatever was at her disposal, the Crown Prosecution Service said. The jury heard the nurse would misuse medical equipment and medicines to cause babies to unexpectedly collapse across day and night shifts on the hospital's neonatal ward. Her victims included both boys and girls, many of whom were born prematurely. 2 of her last victims were boys known as Child O and P, who were 2 of 3 triplet siblings. Both died within the first week of their lives, and Child O was found with severe liver damage. Pascal Jones of the CPS said Letby betrayed the trust that people had in the NHS, as well as the faith the families had. Behind that angelic smile was a much darker side to her personality, she added. Letby stood trial accused of murdering 7 babies and trying to murder 10 others at the Countess of Chester Hospital. The nurse from Hereford denied all the charges. But a court heard that colleagues had suspicions about Letby well over a year before hospital bosses contacted the police. A nurse who worked at the hospital told Sky News that when alarms would go off during the night, there would be a phrase that people would use. Lindsay Artell said that colleagues would ask, "I wonder if Lucy's working tonight." Miss Artell also fears that Letby attacked her son Asa, who was cared for on the hospital's neonatal ward after being born 2 months premature. She is calling for the police to reinvestigate her claims and that of other parents. Following today's verdicts, Cheshire Police confirmed they are now investigating whether Letby could have attacked other children in her care prior to June 2015. This includes several more years she worked at the Countess of Chester Hospital, as well as time Letby spent on training placements at Liverpool Women's Hospital. Sky News has contacted both hospitals for comment. DCI Nicola Evans, the Deputy Senior Investigating Officer on the case, told Sky News that it remains, quote, "really hard to even accept that, in that setting, somebody would be harming babies. That is totally unnatural for anybody to think that," she added. Cheshire Police conducted a 2-year investigation into the baby's deaths before Letby was charged in November 2020. Officers say they examined more than 500,000 medical and digital records and have been supporting the victims' families, many of whom have attended court proceedings in person. DCI Evans said, "I don't think there's anybody who has worked on this investigation who will come out of the other side the same person they were. It has been heartbreaking." During the trial, Letby claimed that she was being wrongly accused to cover up hospital failings. No motive has ever been established, which DCI Evans said must be really hard for families to accept. Okay, so my sincerest apologies if this video isn't the normal quality that I normally do. I've literally just narrated this as I've been reading it, basically. Having the verdict today is quite shocking, I think, having followed this case for such a long time, and as I said earlier, having been in court in person, witnessing Lucy Letby under cross-examination, hearing all of those details regarding that case, or this case in person, listening to the families give evidence, hearing the names of the children in person, all of which I've found incredibly difficult, and even just creating content in general on this case has been quite challenging at times. But over the weekend, I plan on creating some more videos. There's bound to be an explosion now in the press regarding this case. But do look out for some future videos regarding some of my own thoughts having attended the trial in person. There's going to be a video also released a little bit later on today, which I have had on unlisted for quite some time. It's the cross-examination. It's either the cross-examination or the prosecution summing up of the case. I can't remember which, but it's titled Lucy Letby, the Serial Killer Nurse. That will be coming out later this evening. A massive thank you also to the people who have followed this case, have supported this case since it started, the viewers of this channel. As many people will know, I started following this case when Lucy Letby was initially arrested, and we had a little bit of a break whilst the Nicola Bully case was ongoing, and then I picked it back up and followed it all the way through until today with the ultimate verdict in the trial of Lucy Letby. So do look out for future videos. Sorry if I'm rambling. I'm literally in shock. I can't believe we finally got a verdict. We are finally here, and Lucy Letby has been found guilty of 7 murders in her trial. I'm absolutely speechless. Not at the verdict, but we'll get into that, as I say, in future videos. Just, you know, it's an emotional time. I can't even imagine how the families are feeling, the parents of those children are feeling, even the parents of Lucy Letby at this time. Yeah, it's overwhelming to say the least. I'll be back with more videos, as I say. I'm going to catch up with all the latest developments, and you know, if you're new to this case, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll be back with future videos. Take care, guys. Speak to you soon.